Welcome to the Spiritually Embodied Leader podcast. I'm Cynthia Gutierrez, the creator of Embodied Freedom, and I love to help conscious, heart-centered, spirit-led entrepreneurs learn how to regulate their nervous system and move through an embodied transformation so they can start and grow their online business with confidence, authenticity, and aliveness for more meaningful income and a deeper impact. On this podcast, we're going to be talking about how embodiment, mindset, subconscious mind, cyclical living, returning to nature, ritual, and ceremony can all play a powerful role in revolutionizing you and your business from the inside out. Now let's get into it. Hey, I wanted to take a moment to share something that was really helpful for me this morning. And I'm like, this is why nervous system regulation is just so essential, so critical for entrepreneurs, especially for those of us that are more of the conscious, heart-centered, spirit-led entrepreneurs, like really following your heart, your soul's calling, right? That deeper purpose. And sometimes it can feel so big and we have these like thoughts and feelings about it that may have this reaction of wanting to dim our light, to become small, to contract in on ourselves, to hide. And while it can be really common for that to come up at every level of business, sometimes people don't realize like the essential, critical factor that nervous system regulation plays in business when things in life happens. Not just like, facing your fear and doing anyway and showing up in your business, but when stuff happens in the background, in your relationships, in your parenthood, to your car, right? Like when life happens and it really rattles your nervous system, it can really affect everything else, including your business, And I had that happen to me this morning and I bounced back a lot quicker than I used to. And I'm so grateful because it is the nervous system regulation practices that have helped me learn how to regulate more often, more quickly, and to stay regulated for longer durations of time. And the thing is, like, I saw something earlier today and I was like, yes, like I love it when I'm reminded at this point, because sometimes people will think to be regulated is to like be super calm all the time and to like never react about things, never get triggered, right? Never had of like fucking a come to your knees moment and let things really kind of plummet you. And actually that's not the point. That's not the point of nervous system regulation. It's not that you're trying to avoid having a bad day or a bad month in business, or trying to avoid feeling like really down when your launch fails or a client asks for a refund or something, right? Or when something comes up in your personal life and it's like, fuck, like now everything's gonna go to crap. It's not about avoiding that. It's not, because it will happen. It comes up in different stages, at different intensities, and it's going to continue to happen as long as you're alive and especially running a business and doing all the things. But the point of nervous system regulation is to, yes, you're going to find yourself in those activated states, whether it's hyperarousal, hypoarousal, and you're just not in that equilibrium state. Naturally, because of the way that our nervous systems have developed and been built, right? It's very natural and normal for the fight or flight, the freeze, the fawn responses to happen, and that's okay. Yet it's the way in which we recover, the way in which we can help ourselves get into an equilibrium state and be able to be malleable is what I mean. Not constantly stuck in hyperarousal or hypoarousal, and you're just like living off of cortisol and adrenaline in your system or whatever, or you're just like chronically depressed. It's about being able to like become aware, okay, I'm actually in this state, in any of those two states, and I need to support myself to come back to that rest and digest, to the calm, to, that easeful state. And It's not about staying in the easeful state all the time. The goal isn't to only be in your parasympathetic nervous system state. It's going to fluctuate no matter what, naturally. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of you have witnessed or experienced this for yourself, especially this week since the inauguration happened and you know, all the issues with the social media and your own personal stuff going on, you know what I mean? So a lot of us have been kind of activated in a whole lot of, and we're kind of ping-ponging, hyper, hypo, and it's just like, it's exhausting. But the thing is, the goal is to help yourselves be able to ride the waves until you're in that stillness, until you're in that equilibrium, in neutrality. Yeah. And this morning I really had an experience for myself, and I've developed complex PTSD since I was a young child. And I've learned how to cope with it and heal some parts of it and this and that. But there's this particular thing sometimes that I wake up with in the middle of the night. And I've acquired various tools to help me get out of that shocking state that I'll like wake up in and I'm like in shock, I'm like in terror. And so I've learned how to help myself get out of that state and then be able to go back to sleep and I'm fine. But for some reason, I woke up at like 1 a.m. So since the early morning, I was just like doing certain things in my bed and I just was really in the loop so strongly that I didn't really have the capacity to get out of bed by myself, to like get a cup of tea or do somatic exercises on the floor instead of my bed. And it was like I only did what I could while being in bed. And sometimes that's enough. But this morning, nothing was cutting it. And so eventually, like, you know, the hours went by. I started noticing the sun come up at 6 a.m. Most weekday mornings, I meet up with my medicine sisters and we do hape or sananga together. And I was like, okay, I can't wait like to come and bring this to the altar and just, you know, pray for my well-being and my peace of mind. And that really started to shift things, you know, 1, to sit with the beautiful sacred medicine, 2, to be in prayer, 3, to be surrounded by some really amazing sisters that are in the same practice as I am, you know, and they understand it and they have their own amazing tips and tricks and suggestions and support. And so that really started to turn things around for me. And I noticed, I was like, wow, okay, because I was able to soften into that, receive support, 1, express what I was going through, because I was alone that whole morning from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then being able to share it openly, receive the support through words of encouragement, suggestions, this and that, and being in prayer, calling upon the spirit realm to support me, and then sitting with medicine that automatically grounds me every single time. It's like with all of that coming together in that 1 hour, oh my God, finally it was like, oh, I can like breathe now. I can let go. You know, I was bracing so much and I didn't realize it because I felt also exhausted at the same time, right? From not sleeping from 1 a.m. And so I was a little, you know, discombobulated. But once I was able to get into that medicine space and allow my nervous system just be like, okay, I can finally let go. Oh, I'm in this safer environment. Like I perceived the safety differently and my body received that. And so I was able to let go and come into more of a parasympathetic state that is more into the rest and digest. I wasn't in fight or flight anymore. And once I felt that release, once I felt that like, oh, I can stop bracing myself and I can like actually breathe into my belly, that's when I started noticing, oh, okay, now I'm into the yin side of healing within like nervous system recovery. So then I started doing things that were going to be supportive in me restoring myself and comforting myself. So once I took my daughter to school, and that also like, it took some like, okay, I needed to like activate myself to like get her ready and cook and this and that, right? And so I dropped her off and again, okay, I can go back home and tend to myself. So yeah, I just made a very grounding breakfast, also allowed myself to have some comfort treats, and took a shower, took a little nap, just a few things. And the thing is, I share this because before I decided to do all of this, while I was on the call with the medicine sisters, I was like, yeah, they're like, well, what are you going to do today? Are you working today? I'm like, well, I'm not working my side hustle, right? My day job. I'm going to be working on my business. I'm like, I'm sharing this thing, right? I'm in my launch. Like, I've got this amazing one-on-one coaching program that I'm so excited about, and I can't wait to begin helping another soul upon their path and really guide them through their next big breakthrough in life and business. And, you know, I'm just like, yeah, like, okay, like, kind of trying to prepare myself for that, but I could tell it was like pressuring myself. I was pushing myself into that effort, and I'm like, I literally don't have the capacity for that. And once I got off the call and I was like in the kitchen waiting for like oatmeal to stop cooking, and I was like, you know what would actually be most supportive is just to set aside the business for a bit and just dedicate the time that my daughter's in school to myself. There's a phrase that I love to remind myself: body first, business second. Because when we are in the fight flight, or when something tragic happens, or when crises are going off, right? Or things are triggering us left and right, it's like, whoa, okay. It's harder to make a lot more intuitive, discerning, aligned decisions in how we wish to show up in our business, in our life, in our parenthood, all of that, if we're stuck in flight or flight, if we're stressed out, if we're anxious, if we're depressed, if we're being reactive to all of the chaos happening on the media, right? It's like, whoa, okay, time out. Let's like hone the energy back in. What do I really need? And in that moment, I could tell it was like, okay. And the thing is, sometimes this can be really difficult. And this is part of the practice. And this is why I support people in this way, because it's like we get so used to doing things on autopilot, or the way our mom did it when she raised us, or what we've been told in schools. You know, you have to work hard. You always have to work hard in order to make money, you know. And it's like, man, if that was true, then every single hard worker on this earth would be hella fucking rich, right? And that's not the case. So before, when I was like, okay, like I got to do the business thing because I'm in a launch, and I got to do this and I got to do that. And I was like, no, slow down. We're going to just put that aside. It's not going to go according to plan, right? Of what our mind and our ego thought, because, oh, it's going to fall apart if I don't do something. That was kind of the thought on the back of my head. Also, what I noticed in the little PTSD episode early this morning, before I even got on the call, when I was by myself in the dark, I noticed, I was witnessing my thoughts and noticing, oh, because I'm struggling right now, I can't run my business. Because I'm struggling, like all of a sudden, my capabilities don't mean shit. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, because I'm struggling with this trauma, that makes me, how do you say, ineligible, or like makes me a fraud to be teaching people how to regulate their nervous system when I'm dysregulated. And it's like, whoa, this isn't black or white here, you know? And a lot of the times our ego will start to spiral down of like, oh, it's either all or nothing, right? This was another one when I was a stay-at-home mom, and my ex would be very busy, and he'd be in and out, on call, this and that. And I would have plans to do one thing at a certain time, and then, oh, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. I'll be back later. It wouldn't tell me a time. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. Like, how am I supposed to like do the things when I don't know what's going on? Like, I don't know how to prepare myself or plan it out. So then I made that mean, oh, because I have to then prioritize motherhood and being an active mom when my daughter was really, really young, when they need a lot of attention, right? That because he left and I'm now the caretaker for my daughter, being a mother, that I couldn't, like, my business won't be successful. It's like we put these meanings on things of like, oh, because this, then that. And when it's not what we want, when it's going against our desires, our dreams, it's like, whoa, we're creating these self-fulfilling prophecies. I really had to be mindful of that when I was in my trauma story, when I was in the fight flight in my nervous system. I just couldn't calm myself down. And so once I started to, one, get out of fight or flight, And I started regulating myself, coming to my bearings and being like, oh, actually, okay, I can put the business, we can get back to the business another time, later today, maybe. I'm not even going to make it a definite thing. It's okay. And that doesn't mean I'm a failure. Okay? Like, we're just going to cancel that out right there. I will get back to that because right now, my body needs me. Right now, the coherence between my mind and body and spirit is what's most important, because whatever I do in that coherent state is going to affect everything that I do and what I share, right? In terms of even like, this is what the results of that is what you're seeing here. If I tried earlier today in the like late morning, trying to get on live and share something of value or support or whatever, coming out of that pressure of like, okay, I have to be here or else, something's going to go wrong, or like some disaster will happen, or like, oh, if I don't show up, I'm just going to fail. You will feel that. That comes across, even if people are conscious of it or not. This is why nervous system regulation is so essential in entrepreneurship. And if you don't know that or aware of that quite yet, you will. Especially when you start reaching the milestones and it's so stressful and it's like, oh my God, like I went for the thing, but then it's like you feel like you're regressing a whole lot. You take a few steps forward and many steps back, and that's like the pattern. Yeah, nervous system regulation, man, I'm telling you. But also, this is what's helped me be able to play the long game. This is what has helped me establish more sustainability in my business. Because in the early years, oh my God, yeah, I'd be like, well, fuck, okay, if I have to, like I was saying when my ex would leave and, oh, I had plans to like record a video for my YouTube channel or something, and now I can't because I have to go be a mom, and I don't know when he's coming back, all this stuff. It's like, oh, well, if I can't show up in my business, then like I can't run a business. Then I can't have a business. Then I should just give up on my dreams. You see how like the domino effect, it's like, whoa, okay, all or nothing. And in a way, it's irrational. You know what I mean? Yeah, so what I have noticed now is that back then, that was happening so often. And so I was in this like on the fence. Am I all in or not? Like I keep going back and forth with myself and blaming other people's behaviors and my circumstances around me on the reason why I'm failing, or the business is failing, or the launch failed, or whatever. And it's taking me some time. But now, when I find myself in that response, right, in the black or white, and the, oh my God, like everything's gonna crumble and fall and I won't be able to recover from it. And it's like, whoa. When I notice myself now, I catch it quicker. I catch it sooner, and I put a stop to it before it starts running amok. And now it's like I have more resiliency. Now I am able to detach from the fight or flight, from the ego, from the monkey mind of like, the anxiety, right? I can detach from that more, separate myself more and say, hey, no. I know what it is that I'm meant to do, yet certain things need to happen first. And what I am prioritizing is my health and well-being. Yeah. And everything else can wait, because if I'm stuck in fight or flight and reactivity and the drama and the traumas and the blah, 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 everything else is going to be impacted. So reshift my focus back to myself to come into that more grounded, centered state, to then be like, okay, now in this aligned state, what is actually meant for me and how can I best be of service now? Yeah. And so that is what I just went through today. And I'm just like, wow, like I've come a long way with this, and I'm really, really grateful, because now I'm just like, oh, it's becoming water off my back. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, that happened and I've recovered, and I'm not giving my power away to the situation anymore. I'm starting to recall my power back. And this type of self-leadership, this type of being able to recenter ourselves, even if, even though I had the support of other things around me, it's like I made the act. I held myself responsible to ask for support, to lean on the prayer, to take care of myself, go take a shower, take a nap. That really was a decision upon myself that I really needed, because it's what the sacred essence of my business needs from me as well, right? It's a two-way street. This is a whole relationship in business and a whole relationship within ourselves as well. And this is why I'm so passionate to share this with other spirit-led, conscious, heart-centered entrepreneurs. Because when you can start to regulate your nervous system, detach from the fight or flight or the... Yes, my love, I'm recording a video right now. Do you want to say hi?
You should be getting my ice cream.
Okay, give me about 5 more minutes, okay? Okay, I'm going to be finishing this up, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll call you, okay? I love her. Yes. If this is resonating with you, if this is something that you wish to have some more support in, some guidance, some personalized practices, and having a container in to go deep and really get to the bottom of various things and call upon your spirit guides for support, and also hit not just nervous system regulation, but like working with the mind as well, the subconscious mind, and utilizing all of these different things to manifest your next breakthrough, to finally hit that goal on your list for 2025 and become that version of yourself that is at that next level. If you want support in that, I am launching right now a one-on-one coaching program called the Sacred Warriors Portal. And there is a highlight on my Instagram stories. It's called like SWP. Yes, SWP, Sacred Warriors Portal. And you can catch more of the details there. But I'm going to be sharing more, so make sure to contact me, or excuse me, follow me. And if you're interested, definitely hit me up in the DMs on Instagram, because this is a special beta spot. If you're interested in having that next breakthrough in your life and really tending to your nervous system and moving through an embodied transformation and tapping into your spiritual magnetism while moving through this portal, this journey, this like initiation for that sacred warrior within you to come forth and lead the way and just be like, you know what, I got this. Even in the midst of my struggle this morning, when I didn't feel like a warrior, you know, with that strength, like when I was stuck in the muck and I really needed help, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm not okay. Actually, I need support. I need somebody. I need my sisters. I need my medicine, right? I need to pray. I need God right now. Sometimes Spirit has this beautiful, miraculous way of bringing divine interventions into your life, where that one coach, mentor, that one community, that one plant medicine, whatever it is, comes onto your path and helps you with something. Yeah, if this is calling you and it's piquing your interest and you're like, I want to know more, definitely stay in contact with me, okay? Because there is a very special beta price that's half off of the regular price right now, and there's only one spot available. So I have not yet gave the link, the sign up link, to the public yet, but definitely watch my stories and stay tuned to my Instagram as I'll be sharing more, okay? All right, I'm gonna get going. I've got some ice cream to prepare. And yes, I send lots and lots of love, and I am wishing you a beautiful evening, a beautiful day, a beautiful morning, wherever you are watching this. And yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for 2025 and what's to come. You know, and even with all of the crazy chaos happening all around us, we get to choose where we focus our attention, which also influences our energy and our frequency. And that's not to say we're just gonna put our blinders on and ignore the rest of the world. No, we gotta stay connected and intact, of course, yet it doesn't have to drag you down when shit gets hard. It doesn't have to, you know, completely knock you off the feet when things get tough or you get triggered and reactive and all of that. And the thing is, one thing I really want to say before I go, life is full of falling off the horse. And sometimes, similar to what I was saying, it's not, nervous system regulation is not about never being triggered ever again. No, you're going to fall off the horse, okay? It's inevitable. But really, the power is in how you get back on the horse. If you get back on the horse. And sometimes, at first, me getting back on the horse was a struggle, okay? I was like, oh my God, I felt like my pants were halfway down and I'm just like, what the fuck, trying to get back on the horse. But with what I have learned and the guidance that I have received, and I am ready to hold another through this experience, you're going to learn how to get on the horse more gracefully, with more ease, with more strength. Yeah. And that is something that I absolutely love, that I have developed and I'm still developing, because you will fall off the horse. But really what matters most is the way in which you get back on the horse. And you know what? At least you were riding the horse to begin with. Okay? Let's just give yourself some props, because you were on the horse in the first place. All right? And I just want to be there to help support you to continue riding the horse. And yeah, you'll fall here and you'll fall there, and it's okay. I'm going to help you get back up. Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to get going. I send you so much love, and definitely stay in touch if you're interested in working deeper together. All right. Ciao. Thank you so much for tuning in. May this podcast continue to activate the spiritually embodied leader within you. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to take a screenshot, share it on your stories, and tag me at embodiedfreedom.biz. If you'd like to express your appreciation, please rate the show and leave a review on iTunes. I'm looking forward to connecting again soon. Take care.